Yo, what's poppin'? Continuing my mid-season reviews with the 10th seed Boston Uprising, 4 points with a 4-8 record and a -7 map differential. Their roster being Punk, Faith, Valentine, Crimzo, MCD, Victoria, Itzel, and Seeker, who is underage right now but will be of age in time for Week 15. So we see they've had kind of a rough go. In Stage 1, they beat Vancouver 3-2, which was a pretty bad showing, to be honest, but they have improved since then. Then they lose to Glads 3-1, and London and Toronto all 3-1, beat Washington 3-1, and lose to Dallas 3-0. Then a stage comes in. There's some shifts. Striker is gone. Hawk leaves a little bit through this stage. Marvel, of course, also leaves, and then they lose to Atlanta 3-2, lose to Shock 3-0, beat Paris 3-0, lose to Florida 3-2 and Houston 3-2, and then beat the New York Excelsior 3-1. My graphic is wrong. It says they beat themselves. Maybe they have. So Boston's had a bit of an interesting go. They have gotten better as they went on, and Valentine and Victoria especially have gotten more robust, I would say, and more. They've had some really good showings. Also, Crimzo being able to play the Zenyatta in his meta, and this meta for Crimzo was spectacular. Crimzo was a phenomenal player every match. He was putting in the work. And it's tragic that they weren't able to pull out wins versus either of Florida or Houston, but or even Atlanta for that matter. 3-2 against Atlanta. They had 3-3-2s all against pretty solid teams. And the win, right? So you can't be too upset. They are hanging just above the bottom three by about 3 points from the team below them. So they have a little bit of leeway, and if they continue to play better and better as they have, it looks good. They did stop putting in Itzel as much at the very end there, but playing Itzel as much as they did was a really bad look because Itzel was never really winning any maps, and Punk was just looked better for this team overall. And the fact that they were playing Itzel so much, it's not great because it's not like Punk couldn't play Doomfist, right? Punk was on the Doomfist. Itzel was only in for Winston, and I don't think you ever had a point where it was just Winston. Like Doomfist or Sigma was always an option. So it'll be interesting to see what their plan is. It'll be interesting to see Punk on the Junker Queen, maybe a bit of a country buff, a patriot buff for Junker Queen and Punk, maybe or something. But yeah, I've been pretty pleased with this team. They just haven't been able to find to close out the series, and that's just it. They're there, they're right there. They just have to need a little bit more. So a little bit of less Itzel gameplay, a little bit of less. I don't know, a little bit more clutch, but they'll get their wins. They should get their wins moving up. I'm not a huge fan of MCD and his gameplay, but that's not too much of an issue when you have Crimzo, and the double flex support is in all likelihood dying out. Hopefully it dies out. And Faith has been not like spectacular, but he's been solid enough as your main support that there's not too much to worry about, I would think. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really see any issues with this roster moving forward, especially if Seeker comes in, maybe play some hit scan on some maps that Victoria isn't on the Widow or something. You could argue there's some good stuff there, but I don't know how much Seeker is going to get playtime. We'll see how much he takes away from Victoria, but Victoria should, without a doubt, get the Widowmaker maps and the maps like that. We'll see. Looking at their schedule into next stage, they play Atlanta, London week 15, Shock, Dallas week 16, Toronto week 17, and Vancouver week 18. So I'm seeing like they could beat London. They could beat any team that's not Shock, realistically, I think. We'll see how Dallas look at the start of his. Well, it's not really the start, but it's the second week of his stage, so Dallas was a little shaky. But a win over Toronto or Vancouver is definitely like reasonable for sure, no doubt. And then I could see them getting at least one win somewhere, other than those teams. So I see at least I'm gonna say like a 3-3 record coming from them. They'll probably find a win on either Atlanta or London, maybe. Impossible to say with meta and stuff, right? But I don't know. I would say any team that's not Shock is winnable, and I think they'll get one of those wins. They can't go 3-2. Surely they don't go 3-2 for too much longer, right? You have to find a win somewhere. Um, but yeah, so far their only wins have been against the bottom three teams in Washington. So the next step up is like it is London or Dallas or someone like that. So hopefully they get that win, or it's Florida, I guess. But they messed up that chance. But I don't know. I like how Boston's trending. I think they're getting better, and I do think that they'll be able to continue this moving forward. So yeah, like I said, if you like it, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. Subscribe for more daily OT content, and thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a good one.